But in this early part of the NBA season, the offense has simply been an air show as Michael Jordan has averaged over 43 points in the last 5 games. The Hawks and the Bulls next.
TBS Sports presents NBA Basketball, America's Game. Tonight's game.
Tonight from Chicago Stadium in Chicago, Illinois, the NBA presents the Chicago Bulls playing host to the Atlanta Hawks. Good evening, everyone. Along with Rick Barry, Pete Van Wieren welcoming you to Chicago Stadium. Normally, the last few years, when the Bulls and the Hawks have gotten together, it's been an air show. Dominique Wilkins against Michael Jordan. But Rick Barry, both of these teams this year trying to change the look a little bit.
Well, they really are, Pete. They're going through a transition period. Everybody's been accustomed to seeing these two players have a scoring battle. Well, both organizations trying to change things with the addition of new players. For the Hawks, they've added 2 all-star players, Moses Malone and Reggie Theus. They also now have Antoine Carr in their starting lineup to replace the injured Kevin Willis. So they are making a lot of progress right now as far as learning to play with one another. However, it's not as quick as Mike Fratello would like. They have been a very inconsistent team in close ball games. Their fourth quarters have almost been disastrous for them. They're struggling even though they're 5-2. Now for the Chicago Bulls, they've added a center. Bill Cartwright from the Knicks and gave up Oakley. They're having to make adjustments with their rebounding, giving up Oakley, and now they're having to get accustomed to having an offense that is geared towards using the center more frequently. So their offensive continuity has not been there as well. And I really think that, Pete, when we come down to this ball game, it's going to be the team that is able to execute the best that will win. But don't be surprised if we see a show by either Michael Jordan or Dominique Wilkins if things get out of hand.
Thanks, Pete and Rick. I know one of your favorite people in the NBA is Utah coach Frank Layden. And you're not alone. Last night he joined the select company of Pete Rose, George Brett, Mike Scott, and Cal Ripken. Not in the Hall of Fame, but in those who have been kissed by Morgana. When the heavily endowed Morgana Roberts spots her prey, few if any turn their cheek. Certainly not the entertaining coach of the Utah Jazz. In fact, as you saw, he got kissed on both sides. The kissing bandit strikes again. I'll be back at halftime, although I'm not quite sure how highlights can match those. Stay tuned for the Atlanta Hawks and the Chicago Bulls.
Starting lineups have been introduced here at Chicago Stadium. We'll be taking a look at the starters for the visiting Atlanta Hawks and the homestanding Chicago Bulls. Hawks coming in with a record of 5-2. They'll start with Antoine Carr, Dominique Wilkins, and Moses Malone up front. Doc Rivers and Reggie Theus in the backcourt. 3 of these players averaging 20 points a game or better. Dominique Wilkins at 22 points a game. Moses Malone right at 20. And Reggie Theus a shade over 20. For the Chicago Bulls, who, by the way, will be getting Scottie Pippen back tonight. The Chicago Bulls, however, won't be starting Pippen. He's been out after undergoing back surgery this past summer. Brad Sellers, Horace Grant, Bill Cartwright start up front. Sam Vincent and Michael Jordan, who's averaging just under 38 points per game and over 43 a game over the last 5 games. That's the Chicago starting lineup. Coach Doug Collins now in his 3rd year at the helm of the Bulls. And Mike Fratello in his 6th year now as head coach of the Atlanta Hawks. The Hawks 5-2, the Bulls 4-4. Our referees are Bill Oakes, Gary Benson, and Dan Crawford. We're all set to go.
Organizations, again, trying to narrow that gap, and I think it's going to be a lot easier for that to happen with the Atlanta Hawks with the addition of Moses and Theus.
Yeah, Dominique has cut down his shots a little bit. He was averaging about 25 field goal attempts a game last year. He's down to 21 field goal attempts a game this year, a shade under what he did a year ago. Reggie Theus trying to get the Hawks on the board with his baseline jumper, and he hits it.
Reggie Theus.
Vincent will take it over Rivers. It won't go. Rivers pulls down the board and hurt himself.
Left ankle. He grabbed his left ankle. I don't know if when he landed, he may have twisted it. That will be very, very costly to the Atlanta Hawks if he's injured severely.
Joe O'Toole being called out. And we'll take another look at this, Rick.
On the high shot. Let's keep an eye on that left ankle and see how much it does turn in. He did hit against the foot. That's what it was. He stepped against the foot of Grant and turned it over. That's probably one of the biggest causes for ankle sprains and injuries in basketball is hitting someone's foot on the way down. What an unfortunate break.
Serious.
Yes, it does. He seems to be in a lot of pain. A lot of times you'll turn it over and you'll have pain for just a short period of time, and then you're able to walk it off. But obviously Doc Rivers is not walking it off right now, at least.
That's a shame for Doc Rivers. He's from Chicago, as he mentioned, played at Proviso East High School here, was a superstar at the high school level in this city. He always brings about 30 people out to these games, friends and family. But Spud Webb is in there now to replace him, and Michael Jordan.
There's the explosiveness. Such explosiveness, Pete. You give him just a little opening, and he just fires right through it.
Cartwright takes it in against Malone. Won't go for him. Grant's tip no good. He gets it back, puts it home, and drew the foul.
And that was Dominique Wilkins' fault. He was watching the action and neglected to screen Grant off of the offensive boards.
So Grant to complete the three-point play, hitting the free throw. Theus left open, but his jumper won't fall. Rebound pulled away by Dominique, and there's the first basket for Dominique.
Reach in behind and knock it away.
Chicago by 7. Dominique had no shot, gives it off to Antoine. Antoine Carr in for 2 easy ones. First 2 of the night for Antoine Carr. It's a 5-point Chicago lead.
Yeah, nobody going to the offensive boards that time.
Wow, what a move by Jordan. His 4th point.
There's the Rockets I talked about. He had just a little bit of a hole, and he accelerated so quickly through that opening. You think, what a great running back he would have been in football.
He's got to find that shooting touch from that spot. Misses again. Comes off to Chicago to Jordan. It's 17-6. Chicago by 11. Battle is also checked in.
I just noticed something very interesting. Mike Fratello went down as he took Moses out to talk to him, and as Michael hits that jumper, and Moses kind of waved him off and said, you know, I don't need to be hearing anything right now, so keep an eye on that one for you.
Dominique Wilkins gets the jumper to go. He's got 4. There's a 19. In case you joined us a few minutes into the game, Doc Rivers had to be helped off the court after injuring an ankle, and a foul is going to be called on John Konkak.
Scottie Pippen.
He didn't have the surgery until late July, and the reason for it was that 3 different scans of that back failed to disclose the disc problem. It was the 4th time around, when Pippen was still having problems, that they finally discovered that surgery was necessary. So it set him back a little bit this year. But he's back before schedule, really. And our first, Dave Corzine is checked in for Chicago. Behind the pick. Wide open is Pippen, but Pippen missed it along the baseline. It comes out. Spud Webb tried to save it in bounds. He stepped out of bounds. Jordan had 3 men on him. Ball stripped from him. Comes off to Spud Webb, and Webb goes in for the easy layup. Webb's first 2 of the night.
Right there you saw the diversification in the Bulls offense. Grant fires that shot.
4 different spots on that court for Chicago. That's what Battle likes to shoot from, in the paint. And he's got his first 6 over Philadelphia and Golden State all over Miami. Turnover, gives it to Dominique Wilkins. Wilkins off to Webb. Webb, nice pass to Dominique.
That's excellent pass on the part of Webb as he made Sellers commit and then dropped it off to Dominique. Good court awareness on the part of Spud Webb.
So Atlanta has cut the Chicago lead now to 3. Paxson works against Webb. 1:53 to go in this first quarter. Grant trying to get it back outside to Pippen. Pippen, after the deflection by Battle, has his shot blocked.
It's an interesting one.
Chicago will play for a final shot here in the first quarter. Pippen will take it. The basket is good, and he drew the foul with just 2 seconds remaining. Scottie Pippen's first 2 points of the season.
But let's see what he does in the free throw line. Very nice. He had some problems last season there, along with Grant.
There's your first quarter score. Second quarter about to begin. Chicago with a 10-point lead. Sellers and Jordan also out there for Chicago. Michael Jordan across to Paxson. He gives it to Scottie Pippen, whose jumper won't go. Sellers pulls away the rebound, misses the shot. Cartwright pulled away the rebound, but a loose ball foul is going to be called against Atlanta.
Yeah, John Battle holding on to Cartwright, grabbed him on the arm, and Sellers had an easy shot to put it back in. Why he didn't go up and dunk it, I don't know, but at least he got on the boards. He only had 1 rebound the other game against Philadelphia in 30-some-odd minutes of play.
Hot in that first quarter, dumps it back outside the Battle. Only 6 seconds left in the shot clock. Dominique Wilkins from the baseline. Wilkins now with 8. Chicago player, this time off Michael Jordan's hands. Dominique Wilkins for a sensational slam. He's got 10. And it's a 4-point Chicago lead.
Well, Lanique is the type of dunker who likes to go off of 2 feet, and he has a vertical leap, or at least he did in his prime, with 48 inches, and he showed you quite a bit of that on that last
Sellers with Levingston on him. Sellers takes the jumper. He has 8 points.
Well, Michael Jordan drew three people, and that's the type of player he is. He's unselfish, and he gave it up to the open man. It's the way to play the game. Illustrious group.
Rumor in the newspaper here in Chicago today that Phil Jackson may be a candidate for the Indiana job, since Jax Ramsey has called it quits over there. The turnover gives it back to Atlanta. Theus to Wilkins.
And now the Atlanta defense causing some problems for Chicago, and the Bulls have let them right back in this ball game.
So Atlanta has cut Chicago's lead to 2 with 9:25 to go. A timeout being taken here by the Chicago Bulls. Dominique Wilkins with 12 points so far in the night, and he's almost single-handedly gotten Atlanta back into this game. So we've got a timeout. Oh, here we go.
We'll take a look at the end of the play as the turnover results. Reggie doing a good job of drawing Paxson to him. Once he commits, he drops it off to the trailer, and that's, again, good court sense and awareness of knowing. Here you see him looking. He sees he's got the man. When he draws the defender, he just lays it off for the assist and the easy 2 for Dominique Wilkins.
So Atlanta has come back to within 2.
He could have run by him and said, Nick, that's what you were supposed to do the time that I was the trailer, or open on the right.
Reggie Theus.
That's for Michael to get back in the offense here for the Bulls.
Chicago now. Cartwright takes it in against Koncak and Levingston.
Now he got kneed right in the thigh on the right leg, and he's hurting right now, and that is something the Hawks don't need, is to lose another player. Looked like the knee of Cartwright right into the thigh of Cliff Levingston.
Cliff Levingston called for his second personal.
We'll watch again as Cartwright will make the move into the middle of the screen. Levingston 53, and the red comes over. There's the knee, the right knee hitting the right thigh of Cliff Levingston. He'll be in some serious trouble. He's going to go out. Carr coming in, and need to get that treated right away.
And now Cliff Levingston needing some attention on the sideline.
Here it is again. Now watch the knee. The right knee comes in and bangs in against him.
Chicago with a 4-point lead. 9 minutes remaining in the first half. Wilkins.
Dominique Wilkins.
He now has 14 of Atlanta's 32 points. Now it comes to Jordan. Nice pass underneath to Pippen, who lost it for a moment, but got it back and converted. Paxson to Grant. Grant with a short jumper. Nope, Wilkins pulls it away for Atlanta in the second quarter. The lead is still there, though. A 4-point lead, cut to 2 by Antoine Carr, his 4th point.
At the shoot-around this morning, Doug Collins said, whatever you do, don't leave your feet. In other words, don't become a member of the Paratrooper Club against Antoine Carr when he posts up. You saw what happens when you do.
Off the hands of Cartwright, then off the glass to Wilkins. Another Craig Sager will be in our Atlanta studios with the Prudential Halftime Report. All the news around the NBA, scores and highlights from around the league, plus tonight's feature on Reggie Theus hunting wild boar. Moses Malone takes the jumper over Cartwright, and Atlanta has gained the lead. Moses Malone hitting his first basket of the night. Jordan now to Cartwright. Theus comes over to help out. Cartwright still went in for the hoop against Antoine Carr. Had it blocked. Chicago fans looking for a foul call there. Now Michael Jordan's back. 1-point lead, 4:50 remaining in the first half. Grant came up a rebound. Grant. And Chicago with a chance to reclaim the lead here, but Sellers can't control it. Bulls had a 2-on-1 developing nicely, but Brad Sellers lost it. Atlanta lead.
Well, Bulls have only gotten 10 points so far in this period.
Vincent. Down to Grant. Now it comes to Michael Jordan. Jordan takes the jumper. He has 4 in the quarter, 12 in the game. The Bulls have the lead back by 1. Beginning to see what has been sort of the case with the Chicago team all season. First quarter, they kind of stick to the game plan. When things start to fall apart a little bit, it becomes more or less that one-man show again with Michael. Antoine Carr.
Well, I really believe that he should have been doing more of this in this particular quarter because they've been struggling, and he really hasn't looked to be an integral part of their offense thus far in this period.
Gives it off to Sellers, takes the long-range shot and hits it. Battle into his favorite spot. That's where he likes to get that jumper away from, in the paint. He has 8. Hawks lead it by 1 again. Vincent dishing off to Grant, and Grant converting. Horace Grant with his first basket of the quarter. Reggie Theus loops it down to Antoine Carr.
2 minutes left in the half.
Carr's jumper goes. He has 6 in the quarter, 8 in the game. Atlanta by 1. Lead continues to seesaw back and forth. Jordan down to Grant. Look at that shot. Back over to Chicago. Mike Fratello not very happy with what he's seeing out there right now. But his Atlanta team does have a 1-point lead with 1:41 to go. Chicago is called timeout.
Well, Pete, let's
before play resumes here, here's our Honda leaders, Rick.
Yeah, let's take a look at there, and you can see Michael Jordan, of course, leading the way with an incredible average after those 2 52-point performances. And, of course, missing is Dominique Wilkins, who normally was right up there in the top 3. Chris Mullen doing an outstanding job. Golden State playing now the point forward position.
To Spud Webb. And to Dominique. And he has 16 points now in this first half. 12 to go. Almost another Chicago turnover. Jordan had a great idea, but Pippen had the ball tipped away. It'll still belong to Chicago with 1:06 to go. With the Prudential halftime report just 13 seconds away, Chicago could go to the locker room with a lead if they can score here. And they've given it to Air Jordan, who can't get the basket to fall, but did draw the foul. Will go to the line for the first time tonight. And Jordan, who's hitting 80% of his free throws this year, with a chance to give Chicago the lead with just 4 seconds remaining in the half. That ties the score.
Number 2, Brad Sellers.
Sellers back in. Corzine sits down. It's the Bulls by 1. 4 seconds to go in the half. And at halftime, the Chicago Bulls have gotten the lead back, but it's only a 1-point lead, 50-49 at the half.
Clutch men, clutch moments, brought to you by the official vehicles of Isaiah Thomas. Left-handed scoop in the waning moments, puts Detroit up by 3. Who will the Bulls go to in the clutch? Trailing by 3 with 2 seconds to play, Chicago looks to Michael Jordan to tie it up in the clutch.
Yes, Jordan for 3.
You can expect the best from Michael Jordan.
Dominique Wilkins for his 18th point. And it's a 1-point Chicago lead again. In the opening minutes of quarter number 3. Vincent works against Webb. And Jordan was fouled by Theus. First foul by Reggie.
Call number 24, Reggie Theus. His second team.
Correction, that's his second person. It'll be inbounded here by Brad Sellers. Hooks it inside to Cartwright, and Cartwright muscles it in over Antoine Carr, and Antoine Carr is hurt now. Looked like he got a hand right in the face.
Boy, there was a serious collision that time, and we've had a few of those in the NBA over the last few days with the players getting banged around pretty good. Let's take a look at it again and see what happens as Antoine Carr will come over on this little screen and roll play as Moses jumps out. Reggie doesn't pick up his man rolling, and that left Cartwright wide open. He goes up with a strong move. Carr comes over, swings at him, and gets hit in the face by Bill Cartwright. And Cartwright hit the floor very hard as well. Unfortunately, neither of the players are too seriously injured, I don't think. Antoine shake it up a bit, but Jerome Kersey got banged pretty good by Benoit Benjamin the other day, who even complained that Mike Schuller almost attacked him. He's going to complain to the NBA office about that one. And then, of course, injured
Chicago by 4. Cliff Levingston has come in for Carr. Give it to Spud Webb. He's open from out there. And
this is a non-contact sport, right?
So they say. Michael Jordan, triple team. What a pass by Michael Jordan to Horace Grant for 2.
Let's watch Michael Jordan on the play. You see Reggie doing a good job defensively. Michael quickly out of it, sees the double team. Now he'll turn back and doesn't even look to throw the bounce pass because he didn't want to draw the attention of the defenders to the open Horace Grant. And if I say Harvey, you can hit me. Okay?
Well, I'll wait till we get down to the clubhouse. 9:46 remaining third quarter. Sellers controlling. Off to Jordan. Jordan had 4 men on him for a moment there, so he backs off. Now he'll take the jumper. That hit. Michael might just be warming up.
Yeah, he's playing the type of game that I think the fans have become accustomed to seeing him play.
Chicago by 6, 9:20 to go, third quarter.
Sure more fun to watch him when he plays that way.
Dominique, who had a good first half. Hits his 20th point. And Chicago by 4. Michael Jordan, nice pass to Grant underneath, and Grant was fouled.
See, that's the thing about Michael, or I think he's a step above Dominique Wilkins, is his ability to create things for other people. Dominique, if there's one element of his game I think that is lacking, it would be that part of it. Now just watch Michael Jordan when he gets the ball. Look at the traffic that he starts to bring to him and the attention. 3 players with the 4th one looking, and it was Levingston who was looking. He turned his back at his man Grant, and Grant did the smart thing. When your man turns his back to you or his head, you cut to the basket. That's what he did, and Michael Jordan found the open man.
Horace Grant, who has 11 points on the night, misses the first Chicago free throw attempt of the night. Hitting 1 of 2. Chicago is now 2 out of 3 from the line in this quarter. And in the game, they're 10 of 11. Mike Fratello looks on from the Atlanta sideline. He'd like a win tonight for his mother Marie, who's celebrating a birthday.
And Doug Collins would like one because they start on a 6-game West Coast road trip.
Yes, sir.
11 of their first 15 on the road.
Theus, goaltending's going to be called against Cartwright, so give the hoop to Theus. He has 5 points. 8.5 minutes to go, third quarter. Michael Jordan. Malone was open for the shot, but the pass took him away from the hoop. But Moses gets 2 anyway. He has 6 on the night. It's a shooting much better. As you saw in that last graphic, Jordan through heavy traffic. Cartwright recovers, runs into Concac, and Concac will be called for his 3rd personal.
And that time it was a contact sport.
Bill Cartwright at the line to shoot 2.
Reggie Theus trying to dribble through Michael Jordan. He goes up and gets the goaltending call. Back down the court, he said something to the rookie official amongst the 3 who are out there as in regards to no foul being called against Michael on that play. However, it looked like Reggie really initiated the contact.
Could very easily have had one called against him. Here comes Scottie Pippen back into the Chicago lineup. Brad Sellers sits down. Pippen playing his first game tonight, coming off back surgery, a disc operation back in July, and he had a good first half.
Think Doug Collins is into the game?
Always. Theus will inbounds it. Gets it into Spud Webb. Theus only 2 out of 8 from the field tonight. 2 out of 9. Ball will belong to Michael trying to save it. Theus gets it into Spud. Spud Webb. Malone now with 7 points on the night. He's been averaging 20 points and 13 rebounds a game since coming over to Atlanta. Now he has 8. And now the Hawks trail Chicago by 1. Vincent will take it over Spud Webb. Won't go for him. Pippen the rebound. Scottie Pippen with 7 points. And we're set to return now to action with the Bulls leading at 64-61. Down goes Cartwright.
Bill Cartwright is spending a lot of time down on the court this evening. That's about the third trip that I can recall him making that. And that's a long trip when you're 7 feet tall.
3-point lead. Vincent down to Jordan. Jordan and all that traffic got the shot away. Looking for a whistle, didn't get it. Dominique Wilkins from 3-point land. Won't go. Malone pulls it down, puts the shot up over Cartwright and hits. Moses Malone with 6 in the quarter, 10 in the game. And Reggie Theus with only 4 seconds left on the shot clock. And they're going to have a 24-second violation. Atlanta unable to get a shot away as the 24-second clock ran out. And that'll give the ball back to Chicago. 3:56 to go in this third quarter. And the fans are on their feet here at Chicago Stadium. Grant back out to Spud Webb. Webb can't get the jumper to fall. Jordan's been a factor on the boards at times.
At times, he's a factor everywhere, Pete. He won so many awards last year that filled up a whole room with him.
Scottie Pippen. Beautiful pass to Grant all alone.
Horace Grant doing an excellent job.
Dominique Wilkins working against Pippen. Corzine comes over to help, but Wilkins still gets the hoop. He has 22.
That's not an easy shot that he's making there. He's made a couple of those tonight, but he's great on those spin moves.
John Battle giving it to Dominique Wilkins, and Dominique Wilkins scored the basket and drew the foul.
Well, Scottie Pippen made a very bad mistake that time. Tried to overplay going around to the outside of the court, leaving Dominique wide open going to the basket, and that's serious trouble. So watch the play come again. Now watch Pippen, left party screen, go to the outside for the steal, leaving the lane wide open as Corzine tried to come over and help, but he was too late.
Dominique Wilkins now with 9 in the quarter, 25 on the night. Dudley Bradley is checked into the Atlanta lineup for the first time. Malone had his hands on the rebound, forced out by Corzine. It'll still be Atlanta's ball.
Well, Michael Jordan getting some rest right now. Doug Collins hoping that he can have something left for that fourth quarter coming up, but also hoping that the Bulls can hold on to the 6-point advantage in the last 1:45.
Bradley giving it to Dominique with 2 players on him. Dominique hits it nonetheless. He has 27 on the night, 11 of them in this quarter. He got the Hawks back to within 4 with a minute and a half to go in quarter number 3. Paxson bringing the ball down for Chicago. Pippen, a nice move along the baseline, tipped out by Atlanta. Chicago's jumper, no. Rebound, Scottie Pippen, and a foul. Scottie Pippen is back for Chicago fans.
Let's watch Mike Fratello's reaction here as he watches his team give up the offensive rebound, the foul being called, and poor Mike. I think expressions of Mike Fratello are priceless.
One of the most animated coaches in the NBA.
Still looks like a young kid, doesn't he? With that baby face. But he's an intense individual, I guarantee you that.
Pippen now has 8 points on the night. Been able to pull back up to a 5-7 point lead, somewhere in that range. As the time left in the quarter, there are about 12 seconds left in the shot clock, and it's been almost all Dominique in this quarter for Atlanta.
Well, here's a great athletic ability of Dominique Wilkins. Brad Sellers played good defense, made him change the shot. He was able to give a little hang move, double clutched it, and off the glass again.
Wilkins now at 13 in the quarter, 29 on the night. And Chicago will play for a final shot here in the third quarter. Now Pippen starts to move. Wouldn't go for him. Malone pulls it away. He launches one the length of the court as time expires in quarter number 3. Well, the 2 teams played on about even terms in this third quarter. Chicago led by 1 at the half. They go to the fourth quarter with a 3-point lead.
Take a great look at the move of Dominique Wilkins that we just talked about before the last break here. Here's Brad Sellers playing the defense. Good reaction, comes across. Neat goes up. Look at the hand. Makes him change the shot. He holds on, shoots it on the way down, off the glass. 2 points for Dominique Wilkins. And when you're hot, you'll make shots like that. And Dominique certainly is capable of doing it. But those type of shots, when you're not going too well, can also hurt you. That was just a great effort on the part of Dominique Wilkins. You can see what's happened to him. He had another very difficult first quarter after going the prior 3 games without scoring at all in the first quarter. They're 3 for 10 tonight, but since that time, he's been on the boards.
Pippen gets the jumper away and hits it. What is that? Pippen. Scottie Pippen.
And that's what happens when you take bad shots like that. It allows the other team to get off and go to the races, and you can't allow Chicago to get those kind of easy baskets.
Check back in for Atlanta. Battle. Hitting the short-range jumper.
And the Bulls defense has got to shore up a little bit here, Pete, because they've allowed the last 3 baskets by the Hawks to come within 5 feet of the hole. They have to force the Hawks to shoot from the outside.
Chicago by 3, 9:45 to go in the game. Jordan has had an excellent night passing the ball, getting it into Pippen, and Pippen drew the foul.
Well, the Paratrooper Club gets another club member and another foul as a result.
And Pippen goes to the line. Grant will replace Pippen after he shoots.
Now he's in for Sellers. Yes, Brad Sellers is going to the bench as Pippen, as Horace comes back in.
Pippen gets one more here, as the Bulls try to get that lead back up to 5, and they don't do it this time. It's a 4-point lead. It comes inside to Levingston, his short jumper.
Number 54.
Horace picking up foul, and he knows that it was a silly foul because he had his man taking a difficult shot from the baseline. And the Hawks playing several more because they do have more experience and depth on the bench.
84-81, Chicago by 3. Bradley trying for the steal, tipped it out. And we get a whistle. And while that action was going on, look who showed up at our broadcast location here in Chicago.
It's amazing the people we find in Chicago.
National League Manager of the Year, Tommy Lasorda. Congratulations on those world champion Dodgers.
Thank you very much. Let's pull these Hawks through now.
Oh, wait a second. Let's not be partial here. Come on, just because you know Fratello.
I know Doug, too, but Fratello's Italian.
Antoine Carr, nice move, wouldn't go. Concac pulls it away. His shot does go. Boy, the Hawks had to work for those two. But Concac got him, giving him 8 points, and it's a 1-point game again.
And again, the inside dominating for the Hawks. They're getting everything in there. The Bulls have got to try and push them out a little.
Paxson off to Grant. Michael Jordan, who hasn't been heard from that much tonight, has 18. The lead. Antoine Carr takes it over Grant. And Antoine Carr with his 12th point.
Like I said, force him outside, right? He hits a shot like that.
A 1-point Chicago lead, 7:14 to go. Scottie Pippen, rebound pulled away by Paxson. Off to Scottie Pippen. Pippen, good move, wouldn't go for him. The tip, no good. Rebound is loose. Concac and Pippen battle for it, and Concac's going to be called for his 5th personal foul.
Good call.
Well, Tommy Lasorda, what brings you to Chicago?
Well, Pete, I spoke at Northwestern University this evening, and I rushed down here real fast so I was hoping I could get to see the second half of the game, but I come in with about 4 minutes remaining in the third quarter. I was down here to help my man Fratello.
Yeah, I know you and Mike have become the closest of friends. He's even served as a bat boy for you, hasn't he?
That's right, and he's not only an outstanding coach, he's a tremendous guy, and I'm very, very proud to be his friend. And I think he's going to have a good ball club this year. And when they got Moses Malone and they got Reggie, I thought that's going to really make their ball club.
Okay, we'll be back with more from Chicago Stadium.
Tommy, before you go back to enjoy the rest of this ball game, you've seen a lot of great players over the years in baseball and all other sports. Your impressions about Michael Jordan?
Well, I think he is the Sandy Koufax or the Joe DiMaggio or the Willie Mays of basketball. He can do everything. He can do everything.
Well, they just introduced Tommy here.
And Tommy's never been one to miss a round of applause and a bow.
He can do it all, Rick. And,
right in the middle of an answer.
To sit here next to you. You were my hero. I idolized you. I thought you were one of the greatest basketball players that ever played the game, Rick Barry.
Well, thanks, Tommy.
How's your son doing?
He's doing great. They play the Soviet national team tomorrow.
Right in there between 1 and 7 all the second half. Dominique Wilkins now with 31. It's a 3-point Chicago lead. Michael Jordan.
Well, it may be time for the two great players to take over here, Pete.
Jordan now up to 20 points. Does not hit this one. Rebound off to Dominique Wilkins. Reggie Theus all alone. And Reggie Theus. Over to Michael Jordan. Back to Sellers. Only 6 seconds were left in the short. Malone battling for the rebound. Tipped into the hands of Grant. His shot blocked by Carr. Malone pulls it away.
Well, I tell you, they are letting him hammer underneath the basket tonight.
The crowd here at Chicago Stadium looking for a whistle. Well, tonight's Polaroid Picture Perfect Play is brought to you by the new Polaroid Impulse camera. And if you're ready for really incredible pictures, go with your Impulse.
Well, if you have the Impulse ready, you can get some great shots in the NBA. Spud Webb with the little dish back off to Dominique, the 2-foot plant, and take it home, Dominique. Snap it right there. They can use him right here. This is Michael Jordan
for him to take over this ball game for Chicago at this stage. He lost it. Wilkins recovers for Atlanta. Atlanta with a chance to grab the lead here. Dominique Wilkins forces a shot, hit the shot, drew the foul. Dominique Wilkins with a chance for a three-point play now. Wilkins with 34 points on the night. And the Atlanta Hawks have not had the lead very much tonight, but they've got it right now with only 3 minutes to go. Pippen. To Grant. Grant's short jumper, in and out. Carr trying to rebound it. Ball was slapped out by Chicago.
Called a foul in the backcourt. That's the penalty against the Bulls. The Hawks with only 2 team fouls here with 2:54 to go. They could be very aggressive defensively in this final 54 seconds of the period because they have 2 fouls, actually 1 foul to losing Doc Rivers early. They've had Moses, Malone, and Reggie Theus with 2:54 to go, leading by 3 and a chance to make it 4.
And Antoine Carr still perfect from the line for the year. With 19 straight, he has 14 points tonight. The Hawks have their biggest lead of the night with 2:49 remaining. Almost a steal by Reggie Theus. They give it to Michael Jordan. Off to Sellers.
Sellers late in the ball game. Things change just a little bit as far as your perspective on how important shots are, at least for some players.
2.5 minutes to go. Atlanta with a 4-point lead. Down low to Moses. He bangs into Cartwright. And who's the foul going to be on here?
That's on Cartwright. It'll be a 2-shot foul.
And that is 5 now on Cartwright.
And happy Doug Collins sits back down. That's been going on all night long.
Atlanta now has opened up a 5-point lead. Both of these teams spending a lot of the early part of the season on the road. Atlanta's only played 2 home games this year.
You see here Moses Malone coming up with 14 points, 10 rebounds. That's something they just didn't have in the center position last year. He's such a valuable addition.
And a timeout has been called by Chicago. Atlanta leading it by 6. There's your time left. We'll be back in the past.
They got 24 already, but you see Moses Malone, he was a go-to guy on the teams that he's played with in the last part of the game. Reggie Theus was on the teams that he played with. And certainly for the Hawks for many years now, it has been this man, Dominique Wilkins. And at times it's caused them problems because they don't know really who to go to. If they can get it all worked out, it certainly can be an advantage to have 3 such dynamic type players.
For keeps until about a minute and a half ago. Now they've opened up a 6-point lead, and time beginning to work a little bit against Chicago now. They've got to get something going, and they go to Michael Jordan, who is fouled by John Battle.
Let's see what Michael. Well, the Hawks are known for playing outstanding defense, and they've worked certainly very hard here. But I think it's a combination of Michael helping us.
Atlanta by 5 with a minute 40 remaining. Battle brings it down against Jordan. Off to Reggie Theus. Theus looking inside for Moses. Now will take the jumper himself and hit it. Theus has not had a hot hand at all tonight, but he couldn't have picked a better time for Atlanta's sake to hit that one. It's opened up a 7-point Atlanta lead, 100-93 with a minute 27 to go, and now it's really an uphill battle for Chicago. It's a 20-second timeout that's been called here by the Bulls.
But there we have the perfect example of having a player like a Reggie Theus who is accustomed to taking that shot. He didn't hesitate whatsoever.
Other weapons besides Dominique Wilkins for late in the game, and tonight those weapons beginning to pay off in the 4th quarter, whereas they've struggled in the 4th quarter prior to tonight. 7-point lead. Michael Jordan got the 2, drew the foul. Antoine Carr called for his 4th personal. Michael Jordan with a chance to make it a 3-point play.
Here he is again. He gets the opening, but just look at the authority that he goes in there with. The great ability to hang up in the air, still control the ball while getting hit and lay it in with a touch.
Jordan trying to cut the Hawks lead to 4. He does.
Plenty of time left.
Theus didn't hit that one. Rebound, Michael Jordan. Less than a minute to go. The Bulls can cut it to 2. Jordan against Battle. No basket. No basket. Whistle came before the shot. Foul is called on Battle.
They'll send Michael to the free throw line again. And
trying to get Chicago back to within 2.
look, here he goes. He just made up his mind. Hey, I've got to go. Here he gets bumped. He wound up making the shot, but the foul.
Hawks lead it by 3. There's the time remaining. We'll keep an eye on the 24-second clock for you. 15 seconds left on the 24-second clock. Now 10. Now 5. Malone lost it. Scottie Pippen gives it over to Michael Jordan.
That's not the play that you want. Moses dribbling it out on the court.
Jordan to Pippen along the baseline. Wouldn't go. Tip is good. Horace Grant. It's a 1-point game with 19 seconds to go.
Shooter out there on the court right now for the Hawks.
Well, there are 19 seconds to go. The script not quite the same as it has been for Atlanta, but close. Chicago trying to pull it out. And a timeout will be taken by Atlanta. They've changed it to a 20-second timeout. 19 seconds remaining. Hawks leading it by 1. Theus will inbounds it this time, gets it to Dominique Wilkins, and Paxson will tie him up immediately.
Well, obviously, Doug said if we don't get the steal, let's take the foul right away, give us some more time to operate and work with it, forcing them to have to knock the free throws in.
Well, the adjustment was made by Atlanta trying to get the ball in Dominique's hands. And so they've got a pretty good free throw shooter at the line. Dominique tonight make it 2 out of 3. Came into the game shooting from the free throw line at an 88% clip. That's a 2-point lead for Atlanta. And Chicago will stop the clock here.
Yeah, give Dominique a little time to think about it and get their strategy set up as to what they want to do. So there's still a lot of things that can happen at this juncture.
Wilkins will be at the line. Theus, Carr, Battle, and Malone also out there for Atlanta. Grant, Pippen, Jordan, Paxson, and Sellers for Chicago. Hawks from the line tonight, 23 out of 29. Chicago 19 of 24. Wilkins 3 out of 4. Now he's 4 out of 5. He has 36 points. The Hawks lead it by 3. You see the time remaining. Michael Jordan outside to Paxson from 3-point territory.
I said you didn't have to go for it, and he took a very, very difficult shot.
Those are his first points of the night.
Well, Pete, that really brought the crowd to their feet here in Chicago. Let's watch the play again. Michael Jordan tries to penetrate, draws the traffic. Neat comes over to help out. Reggie goes out to help out on Paxson. Fall away from 3-point range. Tie ball game. I'll tell you, the NBA is amazing. I saw Magic Johnson knock one in against Denver in a double overtime to win a game that the Nuggets thought they had won, and here Paxson gives life again to the Bulls. Asking the official to tell Scottie Pippen to give him some room.
9 seconds remaining. Wilkins. The jumper. No. Rebound. Chicago. Overtime.
Pete, I tell you,
we're going to OT, Rick. What a ball game.
This has been a great NBA season. I think we're going to see a lot of games like this during the remainder of this season. We got a lot to come.
Cartwright and Grant for Chicago. Paxson from 2-point territory. This one won't go. Malone over Cartwright. Moses Malone with his 16th point. Atlanta has the lead. 4 minutes to go. In the overtime. Grant We're tied at 104. Only 3 seconds left in the shot clock, but Dominique converts his 38th point, and Hawks lead at 106-104.
Grant, I tell you, Pete, you see
Michael Jordan back outside to Pippen. Chicago can take the lead here. Only 6 seconds left in the shot clock. Jordan.
Doug Collins wanted the foul, but Michael Jordan showed the explosion.
Chicago by 2. Jordan has 27. Battle. Working against Paxson. Almost lost the ball. The basket is good, and he was fouled.
Doug Collins is livid on the sidelines. He cannot believe the call. Felt it should have been, if a foul at all, before he was actually doing it, that he put the ball on the floor afterwards. Look at Doug. That is an incredibly big call for the Atlanta Hawks.
With 2 minutes left, it ties the game. Atlanta with a chance to take a 1-point lead here. Battle has gotten a lot of playing time tonight, the absence of Doc Rivers. Converts the free throw. He has 13. Atlanta leads it by 1. There you see the time remaining. Jordan against Konkak, and Konkak is now fouled out.
But again, you're looking at a different Michael Jordan than you've seen most of this evening. The type of Michael Jordan that we have been accustomed to seeing has returned once again.
So John Konkak has fouled out of the ball game.
Let's watch that controversial play as far as Doug Collins is concerned. There's the foul. Now that was indeed a continuation. He did not put the ball on the floor. And again, another excellent call by the official that has been challenged by one of the coaches.
Konkak pulled down 4 rebounds and scored 8 points while he was in there, and he's out of the game now. And Antoine Carr is checked back in for Atlanta. Michael Jordan at the line, trying to give Chicago the lead back. .28 points now for Jordan. We're tied at 109.
Now Doug Collins
turning out to be a pretty good
exactly right, but that shows you the capabilities that he has. With Doug Collins, a defensive move, bringing Brad Sellers in to get a little more height in the ball game and a little more rebounding and defense as Paxson goes to the bench.
Boy, the determination on the face of Michael Jordan shows you how much he wants to win this one. 110-109. Jordan now at 29. Theus working against Jordan. Almost a steal by Pippen. It comes back to Theus, down to Dominique Wilkins. Jordan's all over him. Down to 6 seconds left in the shot clock. Won't go for Dominique. Michael Jordan has the rebound. 50 seconds to go. You see the time remaining. We'll keep an eye on the shot clock. It's down to 13. It's down to 10. It's down to 6. Jordan.
He backs up away, getting ready to say, okay, the clock's going down. I'm getting ready to come. You better be ready for me. Here he goes. Now watch this. He's going to go. He'll back up, say, okay, all right, let's give me another extra step. See if you can get me on the move, John. And he backs John up, freezes him, and he knew he hit it because when he shot it, he was already running down the court. There he goes. He is just such a fantastic player.
He's taken over the ballgame.
Well, yes, he has, and he started to do it late in the 4th period when he was able to get the Bulls back in 4 seconds left to go. You still have plenty of time to do other things for yourself. If the opportunity is there and somebody like Reggie Theus are open, perhaps you might take it if he's wide open.
You see the time left in the game. Chicago by 3. Battle. And Jordan is right on him. Antoine Carr.
That's a bad shot.
Well, that's a funny shot to be taken in that situation. Dominique Wilkins was fouled. I can't believe the shot Antoine Carr took.
Michael Jordan with the foul. I can't either because with that much time left to go in the game and that much on the shot clock, you still want to try and get inside. But credit Horace Grant with doing a good job defensively, forcing Carr out that far. But a very ill-selected shot. But they got a break with Dominique getting the offensive rebound.
Michael Jordan committing his 4th foul. Dominique Wilkins can have a 40-point night if he makes them both, but he missed the first one. He's 4 out of 6 now from the line. Atlanta's going to call a timeout. There are only 21 seconds remaining in this overtime, and Chicago trying to put it away. But it's been the play of Michael Jordan, Rick, that has brought Chicago back and given them the lead in this game.
Well, you can see the intensity on Michael's face. He's really into the ball game now. Offensively, defensively, rebounding-wise, passing the ball, and he's doing everything necessary to carry this team. Got him to a 3-point lead. Dominique with the chance to knock it down to 2. 21 seconds to go. The Hawks will be forced to the same situation that the Bulls were in at the end of regulation. Play the good, tough defense on the inbounds pass. If it's not there, perhaps go ahead and take the foul.
Dominique Wilkins has 39 points. Chicago leads it by 2. Michael Jordan races down the left side of the court. Sends it back outside to Paxson.
They got a foul. They're waiting for a lot of time on the clock.
And Levingston finally is able to, I think the reason they didn't foul earlier is they couldn't catch Michael.
Well, now's the chance to knock the 2 free throws in, which would really make it very difficult for the Hawks to pull this one out, getting it up past that 3-point margin.
Michael Jordan with 7 points in this overtime, 32 on the night. He had only 16 points at the end of the 3rd quarter. 4th quarter and overtime, he's taken over the game. Chicago by 4. And now a near impossible task. It still can happen. 4-point lead for Chicago. 12 seconds to go in the overtime. Mike Fratello will have to come up with something if the Hawks are to pull this one out. And they were 3 points down with about 5 or 6 seconds to go in regulation. And the Bulls have nothing much to worry about now. They're beginning to relax a little bit.
You can see a very, very happy Doug
Pippen will be along with Inside the NBA right after the conclusion of this game.
And Fred had a chance to see the show a couple of times, and I'd like to compliment Fred on the outstanding job that he's doing. That's not an easy show to do by yourself.
Fred's a good man. 9 points in this overtime by Michael Jordan, a 5-point Chicago Bulls lead. Michael Jordan with 34 points, 18 of them coming in the 4th quarter and the overtime. Chicago leading it by 5, 115 to 110. Reggie Theus inbounding it, sending it across to Dominique Wilkins. Wilkins puts the shot up. Basket won't go. Tip won't go. Malone pulls it down, drops it in. But it's going to be too little, too late. What a ball game. And what a big win for the Chicago Bulls. 115 to 112 in overtime. Chicago wins it. We'll be back.
And Pete, you see the final there, of course, 115-112, and the man who really did it was Michael Jordan. Here's a perfect example of just how he accomplished it. He knew the clock was running down, a chance to go ahead and give the Bulls a commanding lead here. He backs up, says, okay, guys, see if you can catch me with a couple of steps here. Frees his battle, gets him falling backwards, drops it in the basket, knew he had hit it. That gave the Bulls a nice cushion, and the Bulls went on to win.
Yeah, I don't think there's much doubt about who tonight's Miller Lite player of the game is. Michael Jordan, 34 points, 9 rebounds, 9 assists, most of the damage coming in the 4th quarter and in the overtime as Chicago wins it.